guiding and receiving just right now this wind that comes from the east where
Mm.
I am right now. And I just feel, and I invite you all to imagine a wind coming across your body, a wind that brings perception, sensation, feeling, so we can come here and observe where we are in this moment in our life, wherever you are, coming to the present moment, coming to the edge of our skin, and with a deep inhale, we go in, we sink into our heart. Just feeling the expansion in our heart when we breathe, what is present there, who is there, how our mind connects with our heart right now, what kind of memories, what kind of emotions. Just observing what, without trying to change. And we go deeper with another inhale. We do it again. Inhale, and the exhalation with the sound. Bringing this moment of silence. And when you feel ready, just open your eyes.
Good to see you,
How?
brother.
Yeah,
Thank you.
likewise, man. How are you feeling?
Uh, I'm not feeling very good. Just a lot of anger, and also I ate one big chunk of ice cream just before our call. My sweet tooth was, was very excited. And here in Germany, there's so much more ice cream than in Portugal. There's so much different tastes, and in the supermarket, you can buy like wow, really tasty stuff. And yeah, it's always it's a big challenge to go to the supermarket.
Mm.
But yeah, my sugar is my is my yeah. It's the thing that I usually, it's difficult for me sometimes to manage the
Mm.
sugar. Sugar is like, I love sugar. I love sweet stuff. So it's a constant on and off relationship.
Mm.
We're breaking up, then we get back together, and then we break up again. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. The sun is shining. Look here, it's beautiful. Garden. It's a national park. It's very green, very lush. Everything is super green because the winter here, the summer here, it was raining quite a lot. So there's a lot of like lushness and the humidity with the heat, and it's beautiful for the eye. It's very healing for the eye to be here. Usually I'm in the Algarve and everything is burned
Mm.
and everything is brown, and here everything is
Mm.
green, even in August, which is beautiful. Yeah.
Okay, brother. Thank you for sharing. Um, I'm curious. Of course, I don't want to bring something that maybe you don't want to share, but I really want to ask you, and then I will dive deep in how I am. Of course, you relate with ice cream when you feel this anger. what kind of tools you also use to to deal with this, because this is something so common in men that we
Yeah.
sometimes we don't know how to deal with this. Of course, we can have some strategies, some coping mechanisms, but how is the healthy way you deal with this kind of moments in your life? Because
Mm.
we all have anger, we all feel anger. We are so.
Yeah. So my way of dealing with anger is when I'm in my center, of course. When I'm not in my center, then usually I just let it out. I'm not someone who hides it. I let it out. But when I'm in my center, usually what I do, I it's when I do sports. With sports, I can release a lot of like energy, tension, even frustration that's inside, that's within. And through the effort, through the like the effort of doing, I like to lift. I like to go to the gym and lift heavy stuff and do hard leg workouts, especially when I do legs. Like when I'm very angry, I usually always train legs because I know then I can really like release a lot, let go. Um, and what I also do is um, is breathing,
Mm,
breath work. My daily practice with breath work, which is I do a dynamic breath work. Um, so I'm doing already physical activity, which is also exhausting sometimes when I do it until I get really exhausted, and that also helps to already to move the energy, so that
mm,
that stuckness of the anger, of the rage, or of the frustration. Because if I zoom out of the anger, why am I angry? And usually the reason why I'm angry is that's my biggest wound is if I don't feel seen.
mm,
If I don't feel seen, if I don't feel respected, if I don't feel appreciated,
mm,
then usually I get a lot of anger. And underneath the anger, of course, there's something else, which is deep sadness.
mm,
It's deep sadness and anguish of feeling left out, of feeling ignored, of feeling lonely in the end. Yeah.
mm. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing and to dive deep in this understanding, of how you feel and how you are showing up. Thank you so much. Um, I'm checking in with uh, uh, I think the first thing that comes up to me is the smile that my daughter, it's not all the time. Sometimes she wakes up like asking the mommy and booby and where is the mommy? Normally we are the latest to go to out of the bed, but today she wake up with a smile, and I'm with a smile until now, and also I really feel excitement from. So there's a podcast that was released yesterday with our brother George that he was not able to do it in this live, and with Polariza, that it's a Portuguese podcast channel with Tomás. So it was released, this work that we do of men's work, like that so well, and you are also part of our journey. And it's funny to observe the controversy that this brings to people, that people are not accepting the ways that we speak about masculinity, and some reflections that we have around this. Some women, they are accepting well the spaces and what we do and what we bring in the vulnerable way. And I feel also some resistance around men. And I think this is really the way. It's also to bring the subjects and to come with this in these places and to speak about things and to bring topics. I think is the first arrow that breaks the shell of going deep. And so I really feel excitement around this. It's not like, oh, I'm disappointed because men are not accepting this work. It's more like excitement because the energy is moving, like you were saying, like the energy is moving towards this. And man, I just want to share with you because we have two more people coming to our retreat just because of this movement.
Wow.
And I really feels like, fuck, this is the message is going deeper. And I'm so glad that we have this space, brother, a space coming from a prayer that you said to me. And it's the second edition that we are doing this work. So, fuck, I've been also coming over from a bit of anxiety related to the retreat, related to my work, thinking that the things are not going to work, and kind of a negative thoughts, and bringing some anxiety inside of me that sometimes I doubt about, I doubt about myself and the way I'm doing it. And maybe I'm not doing completely aligned, because sometimes I'm forcing myself to be in social media and doing this and that. And maybe I'm observing, maybe I just need to change the way I'm doing this so I can relax. So I'm with this kind of excitement and questioning and observing that brings anxiety in a way, anxiety in a way, excitement in the other, happiness, frustration. So there's so many colors inside of me right now, and this big smile of my daughter just waking up with me, that brings me strength to let's move forward, let's continue. So I'm with a few things in my bucket.
Beautiful. Amazing that the two more brothers joined. I also spoke to one man yesterday and one man today. They might join as well. They're also very interested. So I'm sure we're gonna have a solid group of men again, bro. I'm pretty sure. Of course, we need to find the balance between being lazy and burning out. So it's like a a middle ground that we need to find. But yeah, I think that topic that you mentioned with the resistance of the man towards man's work, yeah, it's real, man. It's real. It's real, but it's real because these men, when they hear about man's work, when they hear about that, they get triggered. That's why they get so much resistant. A lot of the men, they get triggered, and they start doing fun about it, and they say, look at these guys, they're meeting in the bushes, they're meeting, they are like, they're hippies, or they put us in a box, and they judge. But in the end, it's a wound that these men carry, and that trigger affects the wound, and they feel the pain, because most of these men, many of them, they don't even know it, but they are longing, they are yearning for deeper connections with other men. They are looking for that, they're searching for that. They don't have, most of them, they didn't have a father figure. They are most of these men that they start attacking men's groups and stuff are men who pretend to be that strong, that masculine guy. A lot of times when I put an ad of my men's work stuff, there's a lot of comments on social media or on Facebook, and a lot of the comments are, why do you need this? A man needs a good meal and needs masculinity is being out on the streets and stuff like that. They get triggered. They think they have, they have this, some men, of course, they have these pseudo initiations in gangs and all that, like extreme stuff. But then these other men, these normal men like us, who live in a society, who are like workers, and they have a regulated life, they are yearning for connections, for depth, for brotherhood, and they only get it when they're drunk. When they're drunk, maybe in the pub, looking at the TV and watching football together, then they feel some a sense of brotherhood. But no one is in those situations. They share the football, they share the sports, or they go into the stadium and they feel part of something that is bigger than themselves, which is the football, or the club, or whatever they are supporting. But they don't have that loses again, that's not something that is there on a sustainable and consistent level. So
Mm,
no wonder that these men get triggered, and that these guys feel resistance, because
mm,
it's like that. It's the ego. The ego doesn't want to transform itself. It wants to stay how it
totally,
is.
man.
Yeah.
And we want to belong, you know. We want to belong to something, and you share something really interesting about around football and the pubs and in this kind of places when the energy is quite high, there's no judgment. If a man cries because the team loses, he's welcome, you know, and the emotions are welcome there. So we are having and using a space that anger is released, shouting, expressing sadness when the team loses, and we are like supported in this emotion. It's quite what we need in the real life, you know. There's so many men that are alone, having this their sadness, having their anger alone, and they go away to be supported. And I really feel that also this resistance come from fear,
Mm,
you know,
mm,
fear of facing something inside, fear
mm.
of connecting, fear of really connecting with intimacy. Doesn't mean that we're gonna make love, it's not the point. It's
No.
really to see inside of us and to see inside of another brother, to have this kinship, that we feel like we are the same family. We are the same family. We are from the same mother, you know, like mother nature, mother earth. We are from the same mother. Why we need to fight against each other? Why we need to fight against ourselves and not to come to places that we really surrender the arms, really surrender the weapons, and we just let it go. And you spoke something related to triggers. Um, I work actually with triggers. This is for me, it's one of the reasons and one of the targets when someone comes to a therapy, when someone feels triggered, is where we need to go, is exactly where we need to go. And if we see a weapon is something quite big and the trigger is just something really small.
Mm,
So behind the trigger, there's something huge that
no.
we need to observe. This is why we go to men's retreats. This is why we go to these works and we discover something bigger, something that there's more meaning around this, and there's some clarity around why I'm triggered about this, and we get the clue. It was beautiful when you shared about your anger. It's like you, as much as you were sharing, as much as you were going to peel off the layers until you see that behind of this there's sadness.
Mm,
You know that because you are aware that, and you can go deeper, and you have this skill, and it's not only from one retreat that you get this, it's from your consistency. And one of the beautiful, the most inspiring things about you, brother, that I want really to share is that your consistency is like it's crazy. It's crazy to see. It's really inspiring. Always showing up, always like doing the work. And I'm actually I'm really inspired by your consistency, like because it's like you are getting skills out of this. Of course, you are getting experience to lead because I see you lead and it's really inspiring, but you're also getting skills to get in touch with your feelings, to get in touch with your emotions, to how to deal. And we are not perfect. We go to ice creams, I go to food. Myself, I go to pizza and to eat a lot of pasta and this kind of stuff. And it's we all we have all our ways. We are not the best, but we are keep doing the work, and this is the more important.
yeah, thank you, brother, for seeing me. And I man, I'm far away from being perfect, or being someone who's like very far. I really need these retreats. I really need these gatherings, and being amongst men, Like last weekend, I was in Berlin for a weekend, a men's weekend, that with the men's group that I have, and I had a little depression before I went. I felt depressed. I felt alone. I felt anxiety for my finances. I felt like, oh man, I felt all these emotions and all these things coming up of like not being good enough, of not like being an honest facilitator. Like, who am I? You know, who am I to lead other men if I'm like feeling like this? If I'm feeling that like that I don't have the strength to wake up and step out of bed, or to do my work, or to do my practice, and I had all these doubts. And then I was with these men for one weekend, and bro, my heart just went right open, and I was like, I felt like a little boy again. I was like laughing. We were swimming. We were dancing. We were laughing. We were crying. We were going deep, but also being a child, you know.
Mm.
And this like this connection, this feeling of belonging, man, this is like so important. It's so important. So yeah, thank you for seeing me. But I also, it's just a reflection of you, you know. A lot of times we see in each other what we are in ourselves, you know. So
Mm.
I can only give back to you and reflect back to you the wonderful man you are, you
Mm.
know, the wonderful father you are, and brother and dear, and always humble, always loving, always caring, accepting me how I am. And you know, you accept me if I'm down or if I'm up there. You're like, you're here for me, and also opening your home for me, letting me sleep at your place whenever I was flying away, and you were like, hey, stay at my place, and always welcoming me, casa su casa. And that's not something normal, you know. So
Mm.
thank you for being who you are.
Oh,
Yes, it was
thank you,
had to
brother.
had to
I
be
really
said, you
feel
know.
you, and I really love you. It's really and I really want to share something that it's really important. It took me a while to accept this brotherhood, even if I was facilitating a few retreats. You know, there was so many times that I finished a retreat and then I came home like to integrate and everything, and then there was a moment that I wanted to share, and I didn't have no one. I didn't know how to search for no one. You know,
Yeah.
and it was not just for doing two retreats. It's like a consistency that for me it's like a consistency to create a skill inside of me too, and you become a brother because of this. You know, and I just want to put this out because I had really a difficulty to come out from my cave, you know, like I was doing with purpose, with heart, but then I was not knowing how to do it in the real life, you know. And this is interesting. It's we go to this kind of places, this kind of retreats to really go deep and to peel off or any layer. But then the work really starts when we came out, when we come out of the retreat, when we have a hard conversation, when we have a need to ask support to someone and we need to step in to ask support. The distance is just our phone, and we are so connected with our phone all the time that sometimes we have difficulty to use our phone for the good. And it's like, man, I need your support. I need you to hear me. I don't need advices. I don't need you to fix me. I just need your that you are here for me.
Mm,
And for me, it was really hard, and it took me a while. But man, it's kind of a like a waterfall in my nervous system, knowing that I have someone to call.
mm,
You know,
mm.
when I feel depressed, when I feel down, when I
Yeah.
have like a struggle, when I just know where I need to go. And this is so good, man. It's so refreshing. It's so releasing the tension
Mm,
and this thing of feeling alone that it's so common in men and humans in general, but really around men, that we hide in our expression, that we hide in our emotions, that we hide in our powers, in our gifts too. You know, it's like a constant battle of performance and authenticity.
yeah.
It's difficult to really use performance when we need to use performance, but leave it there and then be authentic, be vulnerable. That there's so much freedom in around these areas, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And it also, it's a good point that you put in, that you throw in, because like so many times, especially us, we call ourselves conscious, you know, we do the work, blah blah blah, all that fluff. It's also important that we when we're in that spiritual bubble, that we don't fall into that trap of being too hard on ourselves, of like just like you said, we have our ways, you know, I have my ice cream, you have your pasta or your pizza, you know, and also enjoy life in a way, and not go into that extreme performance mode where nothing, yeah, where nothing is allowed, where we're so super strict and super harsh on ourselves that after a while there will be a breakdown,
Mm,
there will be a burnout, and
mm,
then from one extreme then we'll might fall into another, and we just might eat shit and do nothing, you know. So I
mm,
think a middle ground, a healthy middle ground is really important
mm,
to be, to have discipline, but also not to be that tyrant
mm,
who's like
mm.
punishing and is like, you know, really
Yeah.
really harsh on himself.
Yeah, I can speak about myself, and then there was periods that I was really harsh on myself and really hard, you know, like if I was having like a finger pointing me, look at you, what are you doing? And sometimes this voice are still coming like, wait, and I can just see that maybe it's not like I need to hear the voices, I just need to pay attention that this is a message, that maybe this is a message to let go and to surrender, or just to do something to nourish. Um, I really feel that it's so important, um, that we can also nourish the two parts of ourselves, the masculine and the feminine. You know, like if we are feeding this with the expression, with embodying, with having direction. There's some traits around masculine, feminine that it's really important that we bring alive, and we are conscious of what we are doing and what we are not doing, and just seeing that, yeah, we have these two energies that we need to feed, and where I need to go now, where is more important to give my food, and it's so fundamental for our well-being. And I really believe that part of this crisis in the masculine around men is that we are not aware of these two energies that live inside of us. We are not aware that we can use them in our own good, and this doesn't mean that we are more feminine or more masculine, or we become closer to women, or not. This is really not about this. It's just about how to work with this alchemy that we have from behaviors, from posture, from how we receive love, how we give love. There's so many traits, there's so many aspects that are important to, to bring to
Yeah,
our awareness.
yeah, 100%. There. I mean, a lot of men, even I, it took me a long time to realize that I have an inner masculine and an inner feminine, you know, inside of me, and in different situations of life, my masculine might be more active and my feminine might be more passive, and then the other way around. And just having that awareness and cultivating that sensitivity of being, you know, aware of, hey, this is not more of a feminine moment now. I'm just like sitting here. I'm just acknowledging the sun is going down, and I'm listening to the birds, and I'm just being with myself, and just like really like, you know, being in the moment, and receiving through the senses, and just, yeah, giving gratitude, the feeling of gratitude for this moment. So yeah, a lot of men are not, they're not aware of this yet.
Mm,
So the our women, they are much more aware. They are much more
mm,
advanced than us, because they are naturally much more open, and yeah, and just they've been like doing also their circles and their gatherings, and in general women are just much more social, in terms of yeah, just getting an exchange with each other. It's like sharing their what's happening inside. And we men, we are just usually on the surface, just on the surface, on a very superficial level, where we don't go deep, we don't really go beyond, beyond the surface, the facade, what we see, the mask. So it's, yeah, it's beautiful, and it's a very rewarding thing that we do, rewarding work that we do, just supporting these men to find themselves, to find their way, because we are just guiding them. We're not walking the path for them. They have to choose their steps. All we can do is we can support them on the journey, and we will
Exactly.
not, we don't have the answers for their quests. Everyone has its own answers inside of them, and what we do is just create a space where these men can remember. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's really important, this part of remembering who they are from origin, and who we are, because this leads us to our purpose, and it's fundamental, um, to be connected with our purpose, to be connected, to have a way where we need to walk, and with a direction to be at service in a way. And it's so hard to understand that, for example, the rates of suicide around men are huge. Uh, like in four suicides in the world, three are men, and
Yeah.
the levels are incredible, because the rates of people more than 70 years old, they kill more men are killed in this time, because they they come to the end of their life, and they realize that I'm not doing nothing here anymore. And it's so sad to arrive in the end of our days, and to see that our life is meaningless. And there was also an interesting rate about heart attacks around men, and they happen normally at Monday morning around 7. So it's like facing again another week of the same bullshit, of this life of prison, and they, bam, the body just shuts off. And it's so crazy to understand that our body is telling us constantly message that we need to wake up. And even with the triggers that we were speaking about, even with the resistance, this is a huge message. This is a huge message that we need just, man, if you are feeling resistance, if you are feeling triggered around this, is because something is calling you. Because if it was indifferent, if it was not important for you, it was not having this impact inside of you. So it's real, like the emotional intelligence of our body, this machine that we acquire in this lifetime, is calling us the attention constantly. So it's,
Yeah.
I
There's
that
a lot of
it's not,
medicine.
yeah, totally.
And the body is so much wiser than our mind.
Mm,
It's like, as soon as we let go of the mind, and the body will remember what to do, right? It's just
mm,
how we go into a cold river, or into a lake, or into an ice bath. We just have to focus our mind on the breath, and the body will know exactly what to do. Will prepare and protect the organs. All the heat will go to the lungs, to the heart, to the liver, to all the important organs, without us having to do anything. The body
totally.
just knows.
Mm,
And that's what we do also in these retreats. A lot of people, they had an interview yesterday with a guy who wants to join, and he was like, so do you do reprogramming of the mind? Do you do any specific exercises, NLP or all that stuff? And I said to him, no, we don't do that. We focus on the body. We focus on the embodiment. And it's a buzzword, embodiment. Everyone uses it these days. But what does it actually mean, embodiment? Embodiment means that you let go of here and you get into here. You get into the heart. You get into the body. And the body is very wise. And you will notice after a embodiment session, you will feel very present. You will feel very grounded. You will feel very in your core. And you will not be longing for something in the future, or you will not remember something from the past. You will be very locked in the moment. And that's what we practice during our retreats. It's training ourselves so that we, in moments of our daily lives, is what you said in the beginning, the work starts not during the retreat, not before the retreat as well, but the real work starts to put in practice what we learn during the retreat is after the retreat, when we're hungry, when we're tired, when our partner is angry, or when your child is crying. How calm, how soothing can you be to your nervous system? Because how you will react to that situation, how you will be in your body, will also, of course, have an impact on the others, on your partner, on your child, on your loved ones. And this is what we do. We train ourselves to have a greater capacity for the world. We have more patience, we have more love, we can love deeper, we have more resilience. All these things, we basically stack up our toolbox so that our toolbox gets bigger and more sophisticated. You can say in the beginning of the retreat you have a Chinese toolbox. At the end of the retreat, you finish the retreat with a Swiss toolbox.
Beautiful, man. And the good part of all of this is that we are not doing this alone, you know. We are inspiring each other. We are confronting each other, that this is also real. There was a conflict in the last retreat, a real conflict with someone. That was the most beautiful opportunity to heal, and we heal with that, you know, with that really real conflict, with people really feeling and expressing what they were feeling. They were not in agreement, and then we ended up in a beautiful way. And this is also to bring up this avoidance that we have from conflict, this fear of having conflict, that we don't want to be there. We don't know how to be there. But this is beautiful opportunity to grow. And sometimes it happens in the retreats that we have this inspiration that someone can triggers us, just being in a different way, expressing in a different way that we in ourselves. So, and with that we can grow. It's so good to have this acceptance inside out, to inspire us in the end. And for me, this is really a gift that I received, because in so many times I felt that my story that I was telling to myself was so unique, and I was like, no one feels like me. This problem is so similar to me. I'm the only person that that feels in this way. And then I took the courage to express this out in a circle, and there's so many men like just raising their hand, like, I feel the same, man. I just felt the same. And I was like, what? I thought that I was special. It's not that we are not special, we are special, but sometimes we create such a huge drama inside of us when we can go over this easily with help, with support, with feeling the tribe. So coming to this retreat is really like reconnecting with this aspect of being in a tribe, being in a brotherhood. There's so much medicine around this. There's such a gift that we need to use this gift.
And also a lot of men, they say, yeah, you know, we go to the retreat, but then the retreat is over, and then we don't have this brotherhood anymore. Yeah, it's true. I'm not going to deny it. It's going to be a very unique, intense time. We're going to be together 5 days, 5 nights. It's going to be beautiful, no distractions. And then we're going to return to our lives. But those feelings of connection that you felt to other men in reality is a connection that you feel to yourself, to your heart.
Mhm.
And those connections to these other men, you can substitute those men with other men that you're going to meet in life, maybe in a men's circle or anywhere in the world, because you're going to be much more open and much more able to express and receive love in a way, you know. Yeah.
Totally, man. I don't know. I'm not being so aware of if someone has a question. I think if we're gonna maybe continue a bit more, but if there's any question to be answered, we can try. Um, Olaema, Sandro is here. He's also he came already from our circles.
Yeah, if there's questions, let us know. um if you're interested in joining our retreat, it's going to be in September 26th until the 30th of September in Grevito. So it's not far away from Lisbon. It's like what, 1 hour and a half drive from
It's 2 hours more
two
or less.
two
Yeah.
hour 2 hour
Yeah.
drive from Lisbon in the heart of Portugal. And yeah, it's the second edition that we do of the retreat. It's going to be, yeah, a retreat based on embodiment. We're going to do different practices of physical practices, emotional practices, spiritual practices. There's going to be a sweat lodge. There's going to be emotional release. We're going to work a lot with the breath. We're both breathwork facilitators. And there's going to be a lot of room also for sharing,
Mm.
of sharing what you said in the beginning. We're going to open the space so that we can truly express ourselves,
Mm.
and that can be so healing, just to express what's inside of you without
Mm.
having to, impress anyone, without having to perform or to achieve anything, but just by telling your truth, and this will make you remember.
Mm.
This will help you to
Yeah,
remember
totally.
this truth.
We have our brother Charles here. We need to capture this work and spread it out around us. It's true. I think there's a huge mission to normalize this work, to normalize of the healing of man, of these healing spaces. I think it's really important, not only to have visualizations in social media. It's more like to put out to some men that they feel that they don't have any hope anymore, and they know that there's a place that they can go to heal. And these retreats are also an opportunity to improve. I think it's not mandatory that you are really in the end of your life to go to a men's retreat. You don't need to like feel all the blockers of your life. You just need to want to improve yourself, to improve your skills, to improve your way how you relate, to improve how your connection with the elements, with spirit. I think it's really important that you also can join this retreat with this opening that I'm not passing like the worst time in my life, but I really want to work in myself. It's kind of a prevention, and
Yeah,
and
there's usually 2 points where men are looking for this work, or they're in a state of being where they don't want to be. They have a big depression, they have a breakup, they lost their job, they're lost. Or there is a man who is like he's in his power, he's in his center, and he says, hey, I want to dive deeper, I want to grow, I want to expand, I want to have expansion. um, and of course, a lot of men, they join our retreats because they want clarity. They want clarity. They want that's one of the most heard intentions that I hear when I ask man why they want to join our retreat, it's they want to have clarity about maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a job, maybe it's the next step, maybe they want to get
Mm,
self-employed, maybe they want to travel, maybe they, you know, career, whatever. And this is very important because in our daily lives, it's very hard for us to make time. We're always usually doing something. We're busy with our routines. We're busy with our stuff, and we very hardly make time. And that's how we make time. And in 5 days, you really have a lot of time. You get yourself a lot of time, and with that time, a lot of things that you maybe push down, that you maybe want to, not really work through, will come up to the surface,
mm,
and you will be able to handle them, to work through them, to process them. and
mm,
that is and that is what we do. And this is so beautiful, this retreat, because it's in the middle of nature, it's in the middle of nowhere. We're like immersed in a beautiful land, a very powerful land. The whole vicinity was burned down, and this land was saved by a miracle. So it has a very, very strong guardian, and a very powerful man, who's the guardian of the land, and the owner of the land is a couple, and they put so much love and dedication into that land that you will feel it. You will feel the power and the energy that's been cultivated in that land. Yeah.
totally, man. I'm, for me, it's really special. I've been only doing work there aside the work that you invite me to go to South. And for me, it's really a gift to contribute to that land, a land that was taken from flames, was destroyed completely, and then reborn from human work and from the work that we're doing. Like we are supporting, we are contributing this beautiful, resilient energy that lives there. That it's also helping us to really connect with our true nature. I feel that this is such an opportunity to. And it's funny that you mentioned this around time, and in the retreats, there's a moment that is timeless. That it's only spend we spend one day that we feel that we are there for 1 week already. The time just changed completely. It's like so many things, so many real things happening, and this is really like we are making history in our hearts, in our body, that we are stepping a point that from now on I really want to bring something different. There's no way back. I always say and joke that in this healing game, there's the positive and the negative. The negative is that as soon as you start, you can't go back, and the positive is as soon as you start, you can't go back. There's no way. It's really the way that we need to do. It's like to start with action, with movement, with expression, with observing, and there's so much time for everything there. Um, more things about this place is like we have a river, we have the food is amazing, it's really incredible. It's off the grid, so we are really taking care of the elements. We are really attuned with the forces of nature, and this is so important as we lost this deeper connection to nature. And and this is how we are really dealing with the feminine, is how we relate with our mother, that it's mother nature, that is the mother of all of us. So when we come to this place of nature around man, there's some kind of a magic that happens, that we attune our energies, we attune our energy with the rhythm of nature, and that this is so special. It's like a spa to our nervous system. Of course, we're gonna activate all the brothers to make them feel, but then there's so much time to integrate and to regulate. And this is the game of life. The life is not we are going out of the retreat, we're gonna be the gurus of our life. This this is like it's not real. We're gonna have intensity, we're gonna have emotions, but the important is how I can dance with these emotions in my life, how I can just support something that happened, support it to how can I welcome an emotion, grief, sadness, happiness in a better way? And how can I just come out of this and just help myself to cross this emotion and then just come to stability, to harmony? This is so crucial around men, especially, that we are so in the surface. And if it's really empowering when I start to do this man's work and I get in touch with really embodied men. The first thing that I noticed was the way that they breathe. They are breathing like with depth, with embodiment. And then when I meet some people that are really not connected, they are superficial. They are like breathing just shallow and super fast and avoiding. And it really like in some way impact me. And I get like, whoa, this is too much, because I really felt a strong presence of an embodied man, like a man that is conscious, that has responsibility from his actions, from what he feels, from everything that he do. And to face this was really inspiring and also scary at the same time. It happened for me like a bit overwhelmed with this when we went to the States together, that we were working with 400 men in a circle, and that, wow, the energy was so huge. And to see the leaders like taking care of a group of 30 men each, like, and there was like they are the anchor of all this men, and for me was kind of scary in a way, but I was also part of this, like supporting the leadership. But it was so beautiful to see, man. So beautiful. And I think every man needs to experience this and to feel and to be next to someone that is really embodying this, what we call the sacred masculine, you know?
Yeah. It's beautiful, man. I think it's a beautiful end for this life. Um, Beautiful words, and so true. Yeah, so true.
So we're gonna end our life, is this?
Yeah, maybe give some maybe give some last words. Last
uh,
words of I don't know, if you are seeing this live and you are a woman, for example, and you feel like, hey, a man in your life, maybe it's your husband, maybe it's your boyfriend, your lover, maybe it's your brother, or even your father, or your uncle, or your cousin, and he might be going through some hardship. He might be going through a phase in his life where he doesn't know, he needs clarity, he feels lost, he feels alone, he feels isolated. Pass on our contacts. We will take good care of him. We will have the retreat in September, and it's a beautiful opportunity to reconnect to yourself, to remember who you are, and yeah, and be among other men who, just like you and I, want to be better men. That's who we are, right?
yeah,
We we're trying to be better men. That's why we do this. And
yeah,
sometimes I fail, Sometimes I'm not better than yesterday. But most of the times I am doing my best to be, and I don't give up. I don't give up, even if it's hard sometimes. Even though I also there was a moment where I called you where I felt lost, and I said, Miguel, I need help. I need help. I feel alone. I don't know what to do. And it's okay to feel like that. So if you know someone, if you're feeling this, if you're feeling if you're feeling the vibe of us, the work, pass it on. You're more than welcome. Yeah, we're happy to receive any leads and any contacts, and have some conversations with the man, and see if it makes sense to be at the retreat. Also important is to say that we are not, like, I'm not a I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist. We offer work, we offer healing in some way, but we are not offering a professional therapy, and I think that's always important to say. We're, in a way, we're doing therapy to each other and to ourselves, but I wouldn't call it in an official way, and I wouldn't like classify myself like that. Um, but yeah, I think that's what I wanted to say, and I'm grateful to all the brothers and sisters that have been listening to our life, and especially to all the women out there in the world, doing the work, holding the feminine, the great mother, the great she, just giving softness and giving gentleness to this world that is so needed. We need so much more gentleness and softness, and yeah, just feelings of love, and feelings of gratitude and forgiveness are much needed
Mm.
in this world. So I bow to you, to all the women, to all the sisters, to all the mothers. Thank you. I
I
hope.
really want to, Aho, brother, and I really want to bring this also up to the feminine from my side. I start this work because of my wife. I always repeat, and I will always repeat this. And in a way, I think the feminine, the women, they are showing us the way. They are really showing us the way how to do the work, and inspiring us, and guiding us to this place. And it's real that we've been the ones that we are destroying with wars, but I feel that we are also the salvation. We are part of the salvation. And as much as we do this work, as much as we are conscious and take our responsibility of the atrocities that we do, and when we bring more communion and more brotherhood, I think we have a big chance to also to solve a lot of problems that we are doing, and we can stop them. So the support is extend to the feminine, to the brothers, to someone that already did the work and can maybe inspire another brother next to you, everyone that feels the importance of this. And this is kind of a public service, of course. I live from this. This is my purpose, but this is something that I do to become a better husband, a better man, a better father to my daughter, and also to prepare the life that my daughter is going to have in front of her. As much work as I'm doing, as much as I'm going to be safe, that she's going to be safe. So this is also a personal achievement and a personal quest that I have. And I want to finish with gratitude, with the presence for you, brother, that you are seeing, for you, brother, that you are struggling, or if you have doubts, you reach out, we can exchange contacts, we can call, we can speak and clarify your way. Maybe it's a yes or it's a no, or maybe it's later, whatever is happening inside of you, we can help you with this, and you are not alone. All right, my brother Alex, you want to finish? You want to close the live?
Yeah, just thank you, brother. Thank you for your time. Send my love to Zoe and to Michelle, and I hope
Yes.
to see you very soon, man. I will see you
Yeah,
soon.
to you too. Enjoy the two of us and your little dogs. Enjoy Germany. Enjoy your also part of your heart, and Germany is also part of you. And yeah, I just wish you beautiful vacations, really to relax and to bring this softness that you well deserved, and all the love that you need, brother. You.
You. Tchau, tchau, irmão. Grande
Ciao,
abraço.
man.
Tá,
Ciao,
tchau,
ciao.
tchau.